Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, October 12th. I'm completely pumped, as one would say, that tonight is my first actual book signing. I've done two book signings at LA Vintage Gear with Cliff over there, but that was it was really kind of at the height of COVID, and we set up out on the sidewalk, and I signed books. Where tonight at the South Pasadena Library, which is a gorgeous old building, and I've seen Van Dyke Parks there. There was a tribute evening to Gene Clark there, and lots of stuff. They have a lot of really great activities there. It'll be a real one where I'm going to be talking to the audience, doing Q&A, talking about the movie and the band, and I'm going to hang with Blue, who I did the book with, and we'll talk about the process and how it all started. So I'm really, really looking forward to this, because this is really the first time I've been able to do this because of COVID. There's a lot of places where I, would love to have done it, but they just weren't opened up. They were not doing any kind of in-store. So I got that going on. I was really, on a sad note, a dear friend of mine, Matty Spindell, I just got notified that he just passed away recently. I believe it was pancreatic cancer. And because yesterday I sent off birthday wishes to him, it was his birthday, and I received a note saying, I guess you hadn't heard that Matty had passed away. And Matty was just an integral part of our music scene here in LA. And it's just shocking. Every day there's the report of somebody else, when it's, somebody like Angela Lansbury, who was, 96 or something like that. And you kind of go, man, what an incredible life. But when it's the younger cats that are, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, it's really, it's a hard one to address. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm looking at my note right now, 3:30 Thursday afternoon. I go in and get all these stitches taken out. I'm so ready for that. My left hand is still really, really sore. After I finish this, I'm going to take a shower, and after that, I've got some ointment I'm going to put on it, and then the compression glove back on it. It's getting better. Knees are healing, and teeth seem to be stable. They're real sore, but they're stabilized. When I put the night guard in at night, they haven't shifted. So that seems to be okay. It's just, I think everything in this whole area is just still really sensitive from the trauma of getting smashed so hard. What a schmuck. Jesus. But it was fun yesterday. Denny Tedesco came by the house, and we talked about some upcoming things, and hopefully he's going to be able to make the event this evening, and we can talk about the movie. And it's kind of lovely out right now. It's cooled off a bunch, but the air was damp this morning. There's a possibility of some rain coming in maybe over the weekend. So I'm just excited about it all. I am going to, after I take my shower, I'm going to sit here and review all the mixes on the Immediate Family's new album. Make notes, because we are right at the tail end of it for any minor details, but it's really good. It's turning out so good. The playing, the writing, the performance is so strong on this record. I can't wait for you to hear that. Everything's kind of chugging along, but I thought I don't believe I've posted this before. I pulled it up, and I pulled up the name on my site, and it came up as 0. So I don't think I've done it, and if I have, I apologize. But again, with this many videos, there's people that have jumped in, like at 900 or 1,000, and that's where they're beginning. So there's so much content previous to this that might be there, but so at this point, I'm not that concerned about if something has been there and somebody's finding it for the first time. What I'm going to play today is in 1967. I was in a local band here in LA called Group Therapy, with David and Jeff Feiner, Greg Wood, myself. I think Ira Ingber was with us during that. I can't remember if there was anybody else now. I don't have any pictures of the band, but we were signed to a label called Canterbury Records. And the thing that was really great about that was the owner of the label was, his name was Ken Handler. And Ken's sister was Barbara Handler. Now, the interesting aspect of that is their parents owned Mattel toys. So Ken and Barbie in real life are brother and sister. So think about all the things you did with those dolls as a child, and then just say they're brother and sister. But Ken was great. It was a great label. They had a number of really good artists on the label. I think the Red Balloon was on the label. But so we had Group Therapy, the band. We weren't in Group Therapy, even though we probably should have been. And when we went in, we cut a few sides in the studio singles. And one of the things was called Magic in the Air, which is what the one thing I've been able to find on YouTube. We were produced by Mike Post. This was when I met Post for the first time. Then, a few years later, when he and Pete Carpenter were really the dominant composers on television, I ended up, because of our relationship back with Group Therapy, ended up doing everything with Mike, starting with the Rockford Files and Magnum PI, Hill Street Blues, the A-Team. It goes on and on. I did all of the shows that they did, and it was great. But at this point in 1967, when we went in the studio, we weren't allowed to play on our record. We were too young, too inexperienced. I had never been in a studio before, really in a studio. And we were at United Studio A. That used to be the complex down just east of Gower on Sunset, United Western Studios. And Western was the easternmost building, and United was next to that going west. And I've done so many records in both those buildings. Those were like second homes to me. But in 1967, I'm sitting there on a couch looking through the window, and I'm looking at Hal Blaine on drums, Jim Gordon on percussion, Carol Kay on bass, Bobby West on bass, Mike Rubini, Mike Melvoin, and Larry Knechtel all on keyboards. I think Al Casey and Dennis Budimir. I think Tommy Tedesco may have been on that, and I think there was another guitar player on that too. Great horn section, great string section. Everything was cut live on the date, and we were just kind of sitting in there with our mouths hanging open because we were really not experienced at this. We were allowed to sing on the record after the track was cut. Then we did our vocals, but at that point, they had to bring in the pros, and I sat there watching all these people just going, "Oh God, I couldn't do this." They just came in, opened up charts, the arrangements. Mike Post did the arrangements, and boom, count off, and they were off and running. And we cut these few songs. I wish I could find the others. If I ever do, I'll come back and revisit this. But it was just an eye-opening experience for me as to the world. I was still in college at this point. I was in my second year up at San Fernando Valley State College, which became CSUN. And and I just looked and I said, God, I could never do this. Yet in 1970, as soon as my career started with James Taylor, suddenly I was getting calls, and I was working with so many of these people almost daily. I did tons of records with Jim Gordon, both as a drummer and percussionist. Lots with Hal, a lot with Knechtel and Melvoin. Rubini I worked with, but not as much as the other two guys, and did a lot of Dennis Budimir and Al Casey and certainly Tommy Tedesco, which is really the great journey now. after Danny Tedesco did the Wrecking Crew movie as an homage to his father and to all those great musicians of that era. That for the fact that he has just made a movie about our guys, and we were like where the baton got handed off to, and the continuum takes place. But so I thought it'd be really fun to play you this. So this was our one of the singles we did with Group Therapy in 1967, and the song is called "Magic in the Air." The lead vocal on this is David Feiner, and here we go. We had a little reunion a couple of years back. A few of us got together, and it was pretty interesting. We hadn't seen each other in a long time. So here we go, Magic in the Air.
I've never had this feeling that I feel today. Maybe I'm wrong, but you brought about this magic. I hope it's here to stay. If you just look closer, I'm sure you'll find it. It's getting brighter each day. Especially when I'm with you, there's nothing more to say. I can't deny it, nothing can fight it. It's a happy day. There's a magic in the air. People talk about it, never seem to care.
Jim Gordon.
Life's a game, I'll teach you how to play it. And if you win, you'll discover there's a magic in the air. I can't deny it, nothing can hide it. It's a happy day. 'Cause there's a magic in the air. People talk about it, never seem to care. Life's a game, I'll teach you how to play it. And if you win, you'll discover there's a magic in the air. People talk always seem to doubt it. People talk always seem to doubt it. Oh, people talking about it. Always seem to doubt it. People talking about it. Always seem to
And that's just somebody recorded off of a 45 and posted it. The fidelity on the original was better than that, but it was fun. You know, it was defines a period musically, and it was just we had a great time. The second half of the 60s for me was unbelievably busy with bands. There were so many. I was sometimes in 3 bands at a time. I was with Group Therapy. I was in another band called The Comfortable Chair. I was in a band called The Brimstones with Dan Dugmore. I was in Little John Farm. At the end of it, it was with Wolfgang. All kinds of things. I was sitting with lots of different groups, just trying to find myself, you know, and that's how you did it. You got to know as many people as you could, and you hope for the best out of it, and you work really hard. And I was fortunate that circumstances all lined up, and I met James Taylor, and I was off and running. You know, it could have turned out completely different. So there's a lot of little things that came into play that allowed that to happen. But I just wanted to share Group Therapy with you. So I'm going to get running. I just got a cameo order, so I'm going to do my cameo, and then I'm going to go through I'm going to jump in the shower, and then I'm going to go through all of the songs for the new album and put together a little critique list if there's anything I can hear. But so far, what I've heard, I'm totally in love with, so I don't think there'll be much of anything. And I'm just kind of drooling. My lips still really swollen. I still have a batch of stitches in there. can't wait to get all this crap over with. But wish everybody a great day today. Again, it's filling up. This Saturday is the Clubhouse one-on-ones, the Skypes and FaceTimes. And I'm looking forward to catching up with everybody again there. And we'll see what everybody's up to. And I will be back tomorrow, and I'll tell you, hopefully maybe I'll get some video from tonight and I can post that from the book signing, but I'll fill you in on how all that stuff goes. It should be a lot of fun, though. I'm excited about it. So have a wonderful day. That's what I just wish for everybody. And we'll talk tomorrow. And some of you I'll probably be seeing tonight, which I'm really looking forward to. You bring some tomatoes and some eggs and stuff. If I really start to lose it up there, just throw them at me just to remind me who I really am. Okay, so take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.